Last week we were talking about the scapula and how we can just release into the scapula, the back, your wing bones, and just imagine that they are the instrument of movement. So it's like as we release down into the ground, it comes up, that hydraulic filling, but then rather than lifting the arms, imagine that the scapula are sending energy out to, or momentum out to the hands. And your arms are floating as a result of this action and awareness at your scapula. Once they get to the qua level, then make a connection between the arms and your Dantian to feel like your arms are being supported further by the Dantian. So we'll do that just a couple times to get this body connection. I would like you now to just lift your arms up, just like you would normally just lift them up. That's right. And to me, that's a disconnected feeling, and I can feel like a coolness in my body, a lack of connection. Now, release, hydraulically fill all the way up to the scapula, and just imagine that the scapula are filling your arms or pressing your arms up. And once you get to the qua, then connect to the Dantian, as though there's a push arm between the Dantian, or a push rod between the Dantian and your arms. And it connects the lower body to the upper body. And then release. So the goal here is to release the tension in our shoulders by shifting our awareness to the scapula. Also, connecting the lower body with the upper body by connecting the Dantian to the arms. So let's do it the incorrect way and just float your arms up. And then your deltoids are engaged, and there is a discontinuity in the body. Even if we're doing it beautifully. Now, release, let's do it correctly. So feel the body, the muscles and everything pouring underneath your feet. A complicit, hydraulically filling goes all the way to the scapula. And it's like it engages the arms through the scapula. And then a connection at the Dantian as though they are lifting your arms. Rather, the Dantian is lifting the arms. And then let's just rest our arms down on that connection. And then if you've ever had the sensation or the feeling of somebody pressing on you, I want you to just rest on that force. You could use gravity as the force on which you're resting. Or your imagination of somebody pressing on you and you just rest on their structure. And then just imagine now that your feet, the bottom of your feet, are just lightly resting on the earth. And feel the earth supporting you. And then hold the sky with the top of your head. Imagine the sky resting, coming down and resting on your head. So your feet lightly touching the earth. The crown of your head lightly holding up the sky. And your Dantian supporting your arms. Now, your awareness in your scapula. And just imagine that your scapula are holding the upper arms so that you can release your deltoids. It's a nice whole body feeling. You can release now and see if you can just create a looseness around that axis that you just assembled, basically. So the bottom of your feet still lightly touching the earth. The crown of your head is still holding the sky. And in between is this little narrow axis, the needle, and then become the cotton. So you're still connected, even though you're loose. That's the conundrum. It's looseness on alignment. And now we'll begin turning the earth with your feet. And imagine that you're still moving from the feet through to the scapula. And now this connection to the Dantian is also behind you as well. So your arms are just resting on that. Holding the sky with the top of your head. And now we're just simply imposing some momentum through our axis and out to the softness of our body. And see if you can just generate a lot of momentum and then minimal momentum while still keeping a flow. And then when you're ready, come back. We'll gather chi just to recalibrate that posture. Connecting the arms to the Dantian. Lightly resting your feet on the earth. Pour down into the earth. Hydraulically feel the scapula initiating the lifting of the arms, and now resting your arms from the Dantian. Elbows are down. Hands are connected. Let's expand our hands so that you have a little bit of a fascia expression. And then begin pushing water. Remember last week we talked about that sweet spot of your posture, but also on the arm distance. So we don't have to reach very far. Just keep your elbows in front of your body though. Some of us are too close, just a little bit of space. Feel that flow as you turn the earth, go through the spine, out the scapula to the fingertips. Now we'll just go right into halataxi. Let the bottom arm be heavy with on, releasing, and the top arm is pung. So release. Very nice. And then we'll come back to the center. And just recalibrate your posture. Remember whatever adjustment I gave to you last week. See where you are with that. Take a few moments to sort of play around with it and adjust, kind of wiggle until you find a place of comfort. Now we'll turn 90 degrees to your left. You're on your right leg and bring that hip in, the line right down through the big toe. This leg is not too far out. Slide it back so it's comfortable. And then just sit. Connect the head to the sky and feel the weight of this arm and the lightness of this arm. And then we'll rotate towards your left a little bit. And then to change directions, turn the floor, release the arm, follow the momentum. Then just keep following it. And then release the arm, float the other, follow the momentum. When you're on that one foot, just assess where is your bubble. I think the tendency is to lean back and be on the heel. That's not where we want to be. Especially when we make that change. Just be the revolving door. The axis right through that supporting foot. And then we'll come back to the middle. Check in with your posture. Every time we come to this place, assess, adjust. I'm going to do open and close next, and then we'll do drinking water. So let's try that again. Release all the way up through the scapula, float the arms, rest them or connect them to the Dantian. Then stretch the hands open a little bit. And that energy now between your hands becomes light and buoyant. Allow it to pour into your body, and your body becomes more light and floating. And then as you bring the hands back together, there's a density there. Imagine that density is the density of your body in space. So light, buoyant feeling, suspending your body in this energy around you. And as you bring your hands together, sensing the density of your body. And imagining that density in the space around you. And one more. Your feet lightly touching the earth. And imagine as your hands come apart, your body becomes lighter. So it's just barely touching the earth. And as the density between the hands increases, feeling your body in space. And now we'll just recalibrate the posture again. And holding your bowl, and make sure that as you hold your bowl, you start out with that really nice refined posture. And that it's not too close. It's like floating on that connection to your Dantian. Your scapula are the anchor points, and your arms are just loose, but alive. They're sort of in yang. And then we'll just hinge at the quad. And you can feel the weight of the bowl. And you just follow that. And then you'll feel your body and all the muscles and ligaments and bones begin to elongate. Dip your bowl into the water. Pour the weight down through the feet. And now make that connection as you come up between the Dantian and your arms and the scapula. Release the elbows. Find your posture. Swallow. And do one more. Just go at your own pace. That was nice. Open up nice and wide for our windmill. Hands are stretched open just a bit. Feeling the fascia just open up. Rotate, and as you release the back, release the front. Feel the palm in your hand. That's nice, very nice. Release. Release, fill. Release. Now let's place our awareness in the scapula. Like our arms are just floating tendrils coming out of the scapula. One more. Coming back to the center, just assess your body. Where is it migrated to? There you go, nice. And now our ball, rolling the ball, floating up, connect the arms and the Dantian, rest your elbows. touch the skin of the ball and turn it with your feet. Turn. And then remember the lazy arm on top. Not elbow up, lazy arm. Now place your awareness in the scapula. Now move the ball with your scapula. That was nice, Jerry. Yeah, nice, Mary. Wow. Yeah, there you go. So the feet turn, but feel like you're moving the ball with your scapula instead of your arms. And try not to look at your ball. Use your peripheral vision. And as Master Ting would say, imagine that you are moving the room. Well, he wouldn't say imagine. He would just say move the room all around you. And then as you're ready, come back. And I would like to do the bicycle next, and then we'll do ankle rolls. So float those hands up, and it's a narrower ball. Rest your elbows down and feel this push rod relationship between your Dantian, or even back here, to your scapula and out to the fingertips. So you just turn the body and everything starts to happen. Now it's not like I'm moving my scapula around. They're pretty fixed. I'm moving the body. And the expression reflects out. Now just check in with your body. Where is your weight distribution under your feet? Release your deltoids by feeling your scapula. And then we'll come back to the center. We'll do our ankle rolls and then take just a short break before moving on to the others. So just ten each direction. And then when you're ready, you can do a gentle stretch. And then hinging at the quad, coming up. Releasing the muscles on your frame. All right, let's take a short little break before moving on to the others.